If she had to choose a single image to tell the story of her life, Waris Dirie would pick that of a running woman. Waris learned how to run very early in life, at first as a young girl, while she lived with her family in the Somali desert and looked after the goats. She ran to herd them, ran to fetch water, ran to fetch incense, ran to play with her siblings. Her biggest wish, unsurprisingly, was to own a pair of shoes. She was smart, blunt, full of questions, especially when she came across something she didn't understand.
My father would laugh so hysterically with embarrassment and then just say, "Shh, go away. Child, little girl, go away from me." I was clever enough to understand things. I thank God for this. Because if I wasn't clever enough from all of them, I wouldn't be here.
One of the things she just couldn't understand was this collection of gestures, of behaviors that were perfectly normal in her traditional culture, but not to her. Waris has one vivid memory of a clear watershed.
I saw my mother physically being hit. For sure, I was 2 years old. I remember falling and walking. I remember falling to her, running to her and falling down and stumbling all over. I remember so clearly. Violence changed my life. And I chased and ran and did all this to get rid of violence and take love and stick to love and choose love.
Choose love in spite of and despite everything. Despite the violence shifting onto her, transforming Waris from witness to target. At age 5, Waris undergoes female genital mutilation. She knew that all girls went through it because she had seen it happen to her sisters. She still had no idea how horrifying it would actually be. Her mother holds her down on a rock. Another woman removes her inner and outer labia and sews her vulva closed. A practice traditionally reserved for all young girls who need to be fixed in order to find a husband. She recovers alone in a hut. Her mother brings her water and food, and for a month, Waris will need to keep her legs bandaged shut. In her autobiography, Desert Flower, she writes, "I was lucky. Things could have been much worse, as they frequently were for other girls. As we traveled throughout Somalia, we met families, and I played with their daughters. When we visited them again, the girls were missing. No one spoke the truth about their absence, or even spoke of them at all. They had died as a result of their mutilation." Waris may have survived on the outside, but something inside her didn't. When she turns 13, her father introduces her to her future husband. The man is 60 years old and uses a cane to walk. He has an agreement with her father, a trade, 5 camels for the girl. It's her mother who wakes her at dawn on the day she is supposed to leave with the man. She touches Waris's arm and says, "It's time to go." Her blessing so that her daughter may live freely. Waris starts running. She runs through the desert. She runs to Mogadisciu.
The day I ran from my mother, I never give a chance to anyone to come close to me. I had a plan, I have a journey, I have a vision, I have no time. There's no courage. You just do what you gotta do, baby.
In Mogadisciu, she ends up becoming a servant and also finds the opportunity of a lifetime, a move to London, to work in the residence of an uncle, a diplomat of some kind. London is cold. Waris speaks no English at all. Everything is terrifying. She lives in servitude. Until she is spotted by a photographer. After all, she is tall, gorgeous, could easily be a model. It's the early 90s. You can count the number of black models on one hand. Iman, Naomi, and now Waris. this is the start of a hectic few years of traveling, cover shoots, interviews, a part in a James Bond movie. Waris poses, smiles, tells her story. She tells it all, except her biggest secret, the mutilation. She holds on to the secret until 1997, during an interview for Marie Claire with journalist Laura Zev.
I don't know what they wanted to talk about me, about some nonsense to do with modeling and whatever. And I just said, okay, lady, now, let me talk about something real. And you want to talk? I give you something. Something you won't forget.
After keeping her story, even from those closest to her, there it is, in the newspaper, black on white. Sometimes it's harder to take a small step than it is to leap. Her interview spreads across the world. The West, unaware of the brutality of FGM, is suddenly indignant. Waris starts telling and retelling over and over again what happened to her. In other papers, on news programs, on morning talk shows, the UN asks her to become a world ambassador against FGM. Her new life as an activist begins with the shedding of her secret. From that point forward, every effort, all of her energy is dedicated to her new mission. Break that chain, linking fathers, mothers, and daughters to a tradition born of prejudice and ignorance.
These who practice FGM, they really deeply believe, and I tell you, they believe deeply this is the right thing to do for a girl. But when you ask, this is a crime, you cannot do this, they would say, oh, no, if you don't do it, the girl is loose, the girl is lost. You see how painful ignorant is and how dangerous ignorant is. Education is the only key to change anything on this planet. Not only am I only saving you from FGM, I'm giving you your life. That's the greater gift I can give it to a girl. Education. She needs no one. She don't have to deal with FGM, forced marriage, child marriage, all the terrible things goes on in there.
For over 30 years now, Waris Dirie and the foundation set up in her name has been spreading awareness about FGM, a practice which, as she often reminds people, has no basis in religion or spiritual belief, but rather in the notion that a woman must always be submissive, in constant pain, and denied any sexual pleasure. And where school education is the most effective way to prevent the continuation of this barbaric practice, there is still a need for something more, something deeper, a simple and revolutionary antidote against this and other forms of violence.
What the world needs today is kindness. What the world needs today is pure kindness. And this is a new it, the new fashion. Kindness is fashion, is beautiful, is forever. It takes you so far effortlessly. Kindness. I choose kindness.
The numbers about FGM today are encouraging, to say the least. In the past 30 years, the female population across African countries subjected to the practice went from 70 to 80% to the current 7%. It's still not enough.
Yes, that's a freaking achievement. It was a marathon run, my love. And I'm still running, by the way. I haven't taken the boots off yet. But I had to stick to it. I stuck to it because I made that promise to myself and to others, to those little girls, that I promised them. None of you will ever feel this, what I felt. And I will not get off that train until I done the job. I will not.
Waris Dirie was chosen as a model for the 2024 Lavazza calendar, More Than Us, by photographer Thandiwe Muriu. Two women connected by a specific, incredibly powerful idea. every woman should lend her hand to another, help another stand, help her find her feet, help her run.